cool, just a bit loud. Can we take a little not, we're not gonna take a break, but does anybody wanna, I'm gonna stop the share and can I see where people are? If they sketched any of these things? I'm just curious to see what your take on it is, and then I'll come back, I promise. Julia, can I see where you are? I'm gonna pin you.
I made a Viking boat.
Oh wow! hold that up just a tiny bit.
I like your mask.
Yeah.
Your pencil mask.
Yeah.
Have you studied?
Oh,
Have you
like
studied
that.
Viking boats?
No, I just think they look cool.
Nice. Kendra, can I see where yours is?
I just did a little thing,
That's
and
fine.
sorry, let me take my screen off.
Look at that cute little thing. So
Aww.
And then I thought it funny that she did a Viking boat because I had Norse runes on my side, the side of my boat, just because.
cool. Well, thanks for
Very sweet.
thanks for playing along. Sebastian, did you make a boat or sketch any of these?
I did make a boat. I haven't decorated it yet. It's a little bit longer than I expected. That's fine. And I was just copying. These aren't Celtic runes, but they're adaptations of Celtic runes.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
So, Dwarven runes.
Interpretations of Celtic.
Those are interesting.
All right. Anybody else? Stella, you want to go? Nico, Kaya, anybody?
I was doing my own thing, so I didn't do any of
That's cool. Can we see what you did anyway?
yes. Let me keep them around. Okay.
Thank you.
I wanted to try out a new style that I had experimented with yesterday. So this is what I did.
Whoa.
Reference picture for the frog in the middle, so it sort of turned out weird, but you know.
No, I love that frog.
Yeah.
I love that frog. Those colors are fantastic too.
Great
I
colors.
started on this.
Are you using is that watercolor paper?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Yeah, it'll need to hold up. I love those paintings. I'm so happy. Thank you for showing this. Excellent. All right, anybody else? Last chance. Last chance. All right, screen share. All right, I'm gonna have to select. I'm gonna have to choose. I'm gonna have to choose what I'm gonna make. I'm gonna make the front. I'm gonna make it good on the front and the back. And the sun, of course. And the moon. I feel like many fish is kind of a prosperity thing. Oh, the broken arrow is the piece. That's a sweet one.
Oh, that's interesting. The many fish for prosperity. Yeah, I see that.
Do the broken spear on this side. I'm gonna do the good luck symbol on the last page. I really have memorized that already. Not that I like haven't memorized all of them, but I will probably draw that one for the rest of my life. That'll be the Great Spirit. I feel like that's like the Holy Ghost in Christian theology. That's one side. That is a powerful side. I'm gonna have the strength of the bear. I'm gonna put the bear on one side and then the eagle on the other. It's interesting.
Should we be
that-
seeing what you were doing at this moment? Oh,
No.
never mind. You're there.
Yeah, no. I mean, I don't know.
Cool.
It does read. I mean, I chose them for meaning, but they also fit really nicely on the
Yeah,
yeah,
on
in
your boat.
competition. Yeah, on the boat.
Ah.
I just want people to be able to be able to see it too. I mean, no one needs to see me draw these. All right, that's one side. This one may be a little bit more connected to the seasons. I'll probably do this. There's no symbol for fall, I don't think. But maybe I'll use a campfire for the fall. So my year really begins, my birthday is in September. So and the school year kind of begins in September. So and I kind of have like my year begins kind of as a default in the fall. So I think I'm gonna begin. I'll start my year in the fall with my campfire. 6 spikes there. I'm gonna stack the spring and the summer. Spring had 7 units, including the outside. And summer, I think, had 6. Let's see. No, summer has the same number. They're just taller. It's like the same field of grass. It's just taller. And then winter. So I've got the sequence of time and the transitions that occur through time. Got some celestial events. I'll draw my lake. And I'll do the prosperity symbol. It's amazing how much, I know it's just like a little dink, it's like a boat, but once you apply, meaning that has, personal significance, it's kind of like, it becomes more. Let me look over here. I like the friendship idea.
You could ride down the river and give another tribe a message.
I mean, if I came rolling into a camp with this boat, they'd be like, this guy seems pretty cool. He seems like he's got it together. He's all about friendship, happiness. He apparently likes every season. I've been such an early riser lately.
What time is early for you?
Like 6:15.
And what time are you going to bed?
That's early. I mean, that's early for me. That's a tricky question because I go to bed early, but then the dogs keep me up, and I don't, and I fall asleep at different times. I gotta take care of these dogs. They're driving me nuts. All right, so we got 25 minutes. Do you guys want to draw something a little bit more serious? Not that serious, but a little bit more challenging. That was I would hopefully I didn't like take forever on that, but my boat is seriously like very meaningful to me now. I had to dig in and like actually extrapolate the content.
May I see the side of your boat, the second side of your boat?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
So
Okay.
that.
Okay. Yeah.
So
Cool.
this is the second side. I think this is what you're looking for.
Yes. 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 Thank you.
You're welcome. All right, Stacy, I hope you don't mind, but we're going to draw this snail again because it's so
Oh,
good.
I don't mind at all. No, not even a little bit.
Thanks. I feel like this crew deserves this snail sketch, and I'm going to be so much better at drawing it, having drawn it this morning. All right. So, ladies and gentlemen, if you follow me step by step, the escargot, should not be hard. It's a snail. People eat them. The French love it. I won't eat it.
I love escargot.
You know who else? You know who else seemed like she was a big fan of the escargot? Was Rini.
No.
Rini.
Oh.
She was like, I like it. They always bring it out too garlicky. Too much.
Yeah, that's part of what I love about it.
I know. I'm making garlic chicken tonight.
Yum.
I know. Should I do colors on this bad boy?
Oh.
I think I'm gonna do color. All right, party people. Say a prayer that this pen works. Oh my gosh, it's gold. It's gonna be a golden. Okay, that's the signature. It's gonna be a golden snail. All right, so I'm gonna start this the way I did this morning, which I think is the legitimate way of doing this. I think it's gonna increase our chances of success. And it's really kind of breaking the snail down into 3 component parts. The shell being one. And then the shell you want to think about is like at least the opening, almost like it's a train tunnel, like going through a mountain. And then the neck of the snail is like the train coming out or going in, whichever way you want to see it. The edge. This is the last thing I'll say. There's not much about anatomy on here, but the way when the shell ends, it's called the mantle. I learned that today. So the mantle is the widest part of the shell, and then it spirals, into the middle, getting smaller and smaller and getting bigger and bigger as it goes out. Anyway, so I'm going to sketch the mantle first, and I'm going to draw the arc of the mantle. It's going to have a thickness, and again, this is like when I say the arc, I'm talking about like the train track, tunnel. And this pen has died on me. Is this pen gonna work? I don't want to say I've been abusing these pens, but man, I have been using them. All right, so the mantle is going to come up and over, and then it S-curves basically into the ground. Is this going to be too big? It is going to be too big. I got excited again. Stacy, you got to tell me to step off of the ledge when I get too excited. All right, so I'm going to make this mantle smaller. The same thing. It's going to be the arch, and then it's going to S-curve into the ground. All right, that's not too big. And then as if the tunnel had like a little roof on it, we're going to start the direction of the spiral. Now, I have to point out, when we talk about the cylindrical tube of the spiral of the shell, the marks on the shell really only go in two directions. And I'll show you what I mean. So you have the direction that goes long ways, which is the actual, getting us into the spiral of the shell. So these lines that run long ways. Now, there's a counter to that. So some of these lines are running long ways, and they're going to continually spiral into the center. Now, the counter to that are called bracelet lines. And the bracelet lines are going to be what's going to make it look really cylindrical. So some of them run long ways, some of them run counter to it. And the more marks you put on there, the darker it is, meaning it looks like a shadow. So if you look up here, the top of the shell is light. The side of the shell is kind of light, but like the underside of the shell, like where it starts to curl underneath that lip and where this shell like hangs over, it starts to go dark. So I may introduce a different color. But I've got this whole row of bracelet lines that spiral into the center, which is like amazing. So those are the bracelet lines, and then we're going to combine them with the long lines. So let me switch over to like an orange, so I can draw the outline. So here's the oh, maybe this orange will do it. No, this is pink. That's okay. Here's the outline of my shell. And then I'm seeing how it spirals in. It gets all the way to that center. That is like the exciting thing about escargot shells and snail shells in general. I still want to maintain its goldenness, and I can build up the gold with lines going long ways and lines going, and then bracelet lines. And the bracelet lines, as they get closer to the center, they get smaller. Like, look how teeny these bracelet lines are. Like the edge of the silhouette, it spirals and it like goes down, it spirals into the center. The bracelet lines start really big because the shell is thick. And then as the shell gets closer to the center, it gets thinner and thinner. The gold is so light that it's hard to make it look like a shadow. I wish I had a brown. Oh God. I guess I can use that. Let's see if there's this peach. How dark is that peach? It's so light. How dark is this orange? Oh yes. Okay, so I'm going to switch over and I'm going to introduce a little bit of orange. And this orange is going to represent the shadow. If you're not using color, all you have to do is use more pencil and darken it where it gets, darken the shell where it gets dark. And that will read like a shadow. No matter how much gold I put down there, it's still not going to read like a shadow. So I actually need to switch to a darker color. That's part one. That's part one of the shell. I'm going to switch over to a light blue. I'm going to switch over to a slightly lighter blue. All right, so when you think about the neck coming out, you want to think about it like a train, and like almost like the boxcar of a train. So hear me out here. So if a boxcar of the train comes out of this tunnel, you're going to see the top of the train. And then you're also going to see the side of the train. And then in addition to that, you're going to see, there's the side of the train, and then there's like the wheels, and the wheels are going to be at the bottom. So I'm going to draw this train track, this train car like this, and this is where the wheels would be. I'm sacrificing a little bit of my cohesion because I think it's going to be worth it. All right, so this is, you want to see the top, you want to see the side, and then you want to see the wheels. If you look at the snail itself, you do see the whole boxcar is kind of like the thick muscle portion of the snail. You know, I think it really is the muscles. And then the way it moves, I've been calling it the skirt. So there's this like little channel that's at the bottom. That's called the skirt, but it's also known as the foot. The actual technical term is foot. So there's a separation between the neck and then the foot. So I can't really do the boxes much longer because the neck is so curvy, and I'm using a pen. And if you guys did use if you guys were using pencils, you'd be able to draw the construction lines and then erase them and modify them. So this, unfortunately, the corner of this box is just going to have to stay there. So the neck bends down, neck S curves down, gets a little bit thinner, and then it widens out into the two tentacles at the top. And those are the eyes, believe it or not. And then at the bottom, there's two tentacles, which they call feelers and smellers. So I don't know when the last time you guys drew a snail was, but I'm not saying it's not weird. It's definitely weird. But the two antennae at the top are the eyes for vision, and then the ones at the bottom are for feeling and for smelling. So it's basically a nose. I'm going to draw the shadow that separates the muscle of the neck from the foot. And my snail is blue. I'm going to make the shadow on the ground black. So there is whatever surface this guy is resting on, he's throwing a shadow on it. Oh man. So I'm going to overdo my light blue a little bit because he can be a blue. He can be a blue snail. It's almost like more believable. Then I just have more bracelet lines. That's how I can like blend in my boxcar. His tentacles are incredible. I might use a little bit of black inside this shadow too. Look at that. Like the inside of the shell goes really dark. Maybe not as dark as I just made it, but there's something about the this dark tone that really is really reading well as a shadow. I'm gonna switch.
That
I'm gonna switch back to blue.
that blue is beautiful.
It really is, isn't it?
Yeah.
There's a little trick which I discovered, and it's not meant to do this, but
Yeah.
if you work with gel pens, you can add a little bit of water, and you can watercolor, and they bleed. The gel pens actually bleed,
Uh-huh.
and the marks will stay, but you can blend out the pigment that's there. I might attempt to do that at the end, but I want to put the tail in. I'm going to put this tail in first.
Interesting.
It looks like it's an S curve. Up, down, up. Stace, I think the advice I gave you earlier was to make this tail on the smaller side if I'm gonna.
Which I did on the one I'm currently doing.
Are you glad you did?
And yes, and I've made a concerted effort. I, for some reason, want to make this snail really long, and it's reads so much better, less long.
Well, Mal did that. Mal made her snail really long, to the point where it looked like a snake with like a shell on its back, which is kind of what it is. Who knows?
Yeah, I mean, I'll send it to you later. You'll see. I have actually have them on the same paper, so it's interesting to see as I'm doing it how.
Oh, your different take throughout the different times.
Yeah.
I mean, I have to tell you guys, just to be perfectly honest, when I sketched it with pencil, I found it to be easier. Now here it's more colorful, and I think it's more interesting to be able to divide it. But the pencil was closer to his example. The way his example, he did it in lithograph. So lithography is when you basically take crayons and you draw on stone, these big slabs of stone, and then they put the stone through a chemical process, and you can make lots of prints. You can't really blend very well with lithography, and you know, when you draw with crayons on paper, it's actually very similar. But when I sketched it with pencil, you know, blending it out was like softening the edges. It was good. So that's why I'm thinking if I am able to actually get a little bit of watercolor into my sketch here, it might help a lot. On a technical note, hopefully you got to see what I'll just sketch it real quick. I did the tail, and where I did the part where the tail touched the ground first, and I used like a little bit of an S curve, and then I echoed it at the top, you know, almost like the rhythm of the Native American symbol for river, sort of, but like then it connects. Now this is the thing. Then I drew a line that was in the middle, and he did the same thing. You can actually see it right there. There's an extra line there. And what that does is, in the same way that the neck had the boxcar effect, so you had the top and you had the side, you know, top, side. The same thing happens, you know, the top and the side is everywhere, you know, top, side, even on the bendy parts, it still kind of had the top and the side. Now, this is the side of the tail, and then it's going to have the top of the back of the tail. So we are above looking down at this snail. So let me sketch my example. So I've got the side of the snail indicating the side plane, and then I can angle the top. and I'm being a little obvious about it, but it's even just because you're drawing doesn't mean you can't think in the third dimension. And breaking, making these planes and seeing these edges and knowing that these are like the corners, really helpful. It's just like something that's just what you need to do when you draw, and that's what Toulouse-Lautrec did. I mean, Toulouse-Lautrec's like a 19th century French painter. He didn't live that long. I think he made it to like 41 or something. So he was relatively young as far as artists go when he dies, and he had accomplished a lot. Just really beautiful virtuosity in his mark making. He could draw so fast, so quick, so immediate. It was like that good. Like this drawing, I mean, he can just pack in so many ideas in a short amount of time. Very intelligent, and so I'm just showing you. I might be taking longer, than he took, but I'm still using the same ideas, and the side of the tail, the top of the tail, and then the tail kicks up, and because it kicks up, it throws a shadow onto the ground. So I'm in here with the black to symbolize the shadow. I don't have particularly very many dark notes with these gel pens, so I just have to live with it. I do have a dark blue, assuming there's some left, and so I'm going to deepen the shadows in the snail itself, so I can have like the light part, and then I can have the shadow part. Now you can kind of tell that like once the paper has taken enough pigment, it won't receive any more. So I have to just live with that. Trying to make I'm going to try to make it pop with a slightly darker blue. Make the two blues work together. Stace, that sounds like a stressful puff.
Yeah, well, it's really.
I have to admit, usually when you make that huff, I start to panic. I'm like, oh no, she's doing bad. And then you show it to me and it's like, oh, you crushed it.
Really?
Yeah. I mean,
well, that's really encouraging. Mine is interesting.
So I don't have any water up here, so I have to use my coffee. Oh God, I just splashed.
Oh, the coffee color would be perfect.
So this is what
I like that idea.
This is me, innovating to try to attempt.
Oh my gosh, Trevor, I love that.
Thank you, Stace. I think it might. I think if I can keep the blue separated from the black on the tabletop,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Keep those from blending. I think I want it to blend up here, but I don't want it to blend in the ground. So let me switch colors. See if I can. How's the gold work? The blending. Somewhat. I'm losing a little bit of the linear work, but it's softening all of those colors in a way that I support.
That you wanted, right?
Yeah.
Trevor, that's beautiful.
Stacey, are you being serious? I can't tell if you're joking.
Stop it.
I think it is kind of nice, actually. I'm so deep into this.
That's beautiful.
I've been drawing all day. I'm like really kind of insecure. So I'm not a good judge at this moment. They say don't paint when you're tired, because you don't necessarily have the clearest mind. And I'm gonna blend out the ground plane.
No, Trevor, I'm being serious.
I know. I know.
Oh, okay.
I'm just being insecure.
Okay. You're just trying to be funny. I know you.
I'm not trying to be. I really am a little. I wouldn't trust my judgment right now in terms of knowing whether something was working or not.
Okay.
It looks I think it looks cool though.
I think it's beautiful.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Oh, oh,
Did I mess it up?
no, I got it. I have to go in about a minute. So can I
How are we doing on
see
time?
everyone's? Really, I would love to see everyone's. If anyone wants to show before I go, would just be so great.
Oh, Julia.
Oh, Julia, move that over a little bit toward the other way. Yeah. Perfect. Thank you.
Hold on, don't you keep it up there. I just have to pin you so I can actually see it. Add pin, add pin.
Yeah,
Nice.
that's great.
That's awesome. Cool. Thank you.
Yes.
We went quick. It was fast. Let's see what you got. Is that Tuesday in there?
Hi, Tuesday.
Oh my
Oh,
gosh.
that's
That is
cool.
the bomb. Oh my
I love the footprint in the center.
Yeah.
Thank you.
You're
Dude, thank you.
welcome.
Yeah, thank you. Thanks for taking that project far. I can never tell if you guys are gonna like it or not, but it seems like you liked that one. Anybody else? Nico, Estelle, or Kaya, Kendra?
Sure.
I'd love to see it.
I didn't. Yeah. This one.
Sebastian, how'd you do, boss? Let me replace that.
Okay. Yeah.
Cool. I like that guy.
Oh, hold on, Sebastian. Bring that
He's
back
moving.
and
He's moving.
freeze.
He is moving.
Yes. Nice line work. I like your scroll. Is that what the right word would be? Scroll. Yeah.
Yeah, the spiral.
Thank you. Spiral.
Oh man, it's a beautiful sunset. I can see it from my window. Remember, everybody, tomorrow night is the full moon, so be careful.
Kendra.
All right, Kendra. Yeah, let me put that on there. Replace pin. Replace pin. Oh yes, that's gorgeous.
Yeah, hold that a little bit closer to you, Kendra.
The that shadow from
Oh,
the shell onto the neck is beautiful.
Yeah, Kendra, you just went off screen. So let me see if I
Yeah,
can't get you back.
There it goes.
Great. If you can hold it a little closer to from the screen, away from the screen. Keep going. Keep going.
Right there.
Good. Whoop. Come on back. Lovely.
All right,
Thank you.
Yeah, Tuesday. We'll see you next week. Thank you so much.
Yeah, bye.
Bye, y'all. Hey,
Thank
Kaya,
you.
Kaya, you want to show it?
I'm okay.
Okay that you want to show it, or okay that you
Oh,
are okay
I
with
don't like
not-
it.
You don't?
No?
Like, I enjoy doing it, but I don't like the way mine's turned out.
Okay. Well, will you text me maybe? You don't have to show it to everybody. I just as an art teacher, I'd like it's nice to when I'm in regular class, I can see people's work from like across the room, like they don't even know I'm looking at it. But like on Zoom, it's like I'm totally blind, and it's hard. You know, I can always tweak my lesson where if like somebody made the tail like way too long, I'd be like, okay, make sure you don't make that tail too long. But when no one's around, when I can't see anybody what anybody's doing, so it like in terms of my own teaching, it's helpful. So of course you don't have to send them to me, but it's very helpful. Anyway, I'm starving and I'm cooking up some chicken thighs. So I will see you.
Trevor, thank you so very much. This
Oh,
was
you're so welcome.
wonderful. Everybody have a great week.
Mhm.
Thank
Yeah,
you.
we'll see you next Thursday. Bye, guys.
Yeah.
Cheers. Bye.